What up, guys? It's your boy Minix here in the Ink Den, home of the Ink Monster. We're going to analyze some arena gameplay since it's a new season, first dub of the season, and I'm going to tell you guys how to win or how I like to win. I'm also going to be reiterating some of this so I can firmly understand it and maybe just analyze it. Maybe I'll learn from it. But hopefully, if you guys can take anything from this to help improve your chances of either placement or winning, then I did my job. Let's check it out. All right, now, to start things off, we're going to be looking at the replay and not the actual Twitch highlight because I want to show you things from different angles. The only downside is you're not going to be able to see the loadout, but I'm going to try my best to inform you with what I have and what I like to do in certain situations and why I have it. So I'm going to be pausing at some time so that you guys can understand what I'm thinking and how I go about maneuvering from one spot to another, or what my priorities are in any given situation. But because this is like a 30 minute video, well, it's 22 minute game, I'm going to end up just going a little bit before each kill and kind of being as informative as possible so you guys get a firm picture of what's going on. And because I don't want a long video, you guys don't want to watch all that, so we're going to try to make this as chock full and as dense as possible. So to start off, I usually like to land in one or two spots throughout the season tops because that's going to help me become very familiar with those places, where to land, where the loot is, where my advantage is. And in this specific case, I like going to orchids. My other spot over here is weeping. I don't know if it's called orchids. I don't know if it's called orchids, orchard. I think it's called orchard. So I'm dropping over at Orchard, and one of the first things I try to do is obviously get a gun, get some mats, and see if anybody else is there while matting up the entire time. So I'm going to move a little bit forward over here. I end up dropping into this house. I end up getting a couple mats, getting a gun. And at the conclusion of coming out of this house, I have a charged shotgun and a shotgun. I don't have a spray. And you kind of have to work with what you got. I'm able to get some armor. There's the charged shotgun that we see. Getting some ammunition, but as you can see, the chests aren't spawning in the places where they're supposed to, which can be a little problematic at times because it's so random. You're not going to be able to have that guarantee that you're going to be able to get a gun right off the bat. You might not get any gun. So I only have two guns in this situation. I take the armor. We have the chug splashes, and we're going to move forward a little bit, and we're just matting up in the meantime, just getting all the mats that we're able to. Trying to prepare myself for my first engagement. I'm not actually sure if anybody else is here. I don't look around right away, and typically when there is, or they usually land over here at the market, or they land over in the field to the right, and immediately we get a couple shots. So the first thing I want to do is box up, ramp up, try to get high ground immediately, fortify my ramp. And now with the charged shotgun, because it has a little bit more range than the pump, I lead with that, and maybe to see if I can get a couple shots with that, chip away with that. There's a 20. There's a 15. I accidentally end up throwing a floor above me, putting myself in a rough spot. He's taking shots. I'm thinking I'm going to fall down. He's right there, has the opportunity to push up a little bit, but I don't lose my bearings. I end up trying to ramp up a little bit, getting a pump shot, keeping high ground, and just using that floor to edit. Building wasn't all too great there, but we got the kill. Now I'm going to continue matting up. I'm going to get everything that I need, a full loadout, and I'm going to try to get max materials if I'm able to help it. And what I like to do is I like to beat the circle. I like to beat the storm, get comfortably into the center of the circle with a nice high ground and boxing up, so that this way I'm not contesting for zone. I'm not trying to fight several people while zone is closing in, so I don't spend too much time out here. We're actually going to fast forward, see where I'm at. So I'm over here in circle, nothing's happened in between, just matting up. Actually, over here I end up picking a blue charged shotgun right there. I end up picking up this blue charged shotgun. At first I wasn't going to do it because I like the pumps this season. I've always liked pumps. Pumps I feel like are just a more viable weapon. You're able to edit. You're able to get a lot more pre-fires. It has a lot more ammunition. But in this particular situation, I had a green pump. That was a blue charge. I'm thinking I can side grade it. And I do exactly that. I end up side grading it over here in this barn into a blue pump. And while I'm doing it, I'm making sure that I'm using my environment, and I'm going to have my back towards the back of the building instead of going right up and swapping it out. Side grade I think is like 20 each. You save a lot more mats instead of actually upgrading my green pump into a blue charge. And still just matting up, trying to get around to the center of the circle or somewhere in there. We don't know exactly where it's going to end up. But during all this time, it's all just matting up. Now, as I'm moving in, one thing to note is metal is scarce. You got to get it where you can. It's a constant battle of just matting up. You want to always be matting up if you're not maxed out. And because there's cars now, there's not idle cars sitting around for you to mat. You can mat the cars, but you don't get a lot. So there's a place over here. Little Iron Man place. There's even a whiteboard over there with some clues. I don't know if it's going to tell us some things about the season. I think that'd be amazing. This season is phenomenal. By the way, I'm a big Marvel fan. You can see my reactions to the Battle Pass in the last video, but I'm trying to get as much metal as I can here. And as I'm moving in, one thing to note is whenever you're doing battles or whenever you're building up high in arena, you have to be very cognizant of what's around you, because if you build up big and high, other people are going to look at you and they're going to try to take some shots, which I actually do, trying to see if I'm able to get lucky, do a little bit of damage, maybe just cause some chaos, but I'm moving in. But one thing to note though is as I'm taking shots, although this is a great opportunity to take shots and do some damage to potential opponents, I'm opening up myself to exposure. If there's people around, if there's people up on the high ground, they're going to be able to take some shots at me. So this is kind of a gamble, which I end up committing to while I'm moving in. I feel a little bit safe. I don't feel like there's too many people around me. I'm able to see up on the high ground, so it doesn't look like somebody's going to be able to pop out, but there's still a very real chance that there could be somebody in the bush. There could be somebody hiding right around the corner. We don't know. There could be somebody right on the horizon and they could just pop up and aim and take shots, and that would put me in a terrible situation. But during this time, that doesn't happen. I end up moving in at about around here, right here, just so I can get a little high ground. You can see me going. I go over there. I end up boxing up. And what's nice is I box up right on some bricks, so that's why I build in bricks, so that I can just replenish my brick with the available material around me, so it was just easier to build in brick. I'm going to get back in, making sure I don't build too high. I actually end up building a little bit too high here, and I break the walls just so that I'm not too imposing or threatening. Somebody's going to try to push me if they have super high aggro, or somebody can sneak up on me. We don't want that. I want to be able to hear, or I want to be able to have that visual audio to tell whether or not somebody's around me. So I'm taking shots back over here because there's some opening. I don't manage to land any, but it's not a bad idea to take shots. You're protected. But again, I'm going to be inviting people around me to contest me if they know that I'm there. So you want to be super cautious when you're taking shots. Don't be afraid, but just know your surroundings. I don't land any shots, but you never know. You're able to, if you're able to do some damage, take a dink or two off of somebody, really just causes chaos. So I end up putting myself just on a lower floor, throwing a pyramid above me, and just trying to see what's going on. Looking for available opportunities to take shots at someone. maybe getting lucky, doing some damage, getting an easy kill. This is what you'd want to do. I'm in the middle of the circle. I got nowhere to be. I have full mats. I have a nice loadout. During this time, I have an AR, a sniper, and a shotgun. I wasn't able to find a sub, so you got to rock out with what you got. But I have one white, one heals, one blues. So I feel pretty well equipped during this time. I'm getting placements. There's only 9 people left. So I'm getting points, which is great. And then I'm just peeking this pyramid. And what ends up happening is I end up seeing somebody over here. This guy ends up gliding right over here. You can see me over here in my build. And a guy ends up, whether he's using a bouncer. No. He's using the Silver Surfer's board. He ends up coming down. I think he's using the Silver Surfer's board. I'm not sure. But he ends up being in a position where he's gliding. I take a couple shots. I open up my pyramid, but unfortunately, if I'm doing gameplay, there's a glitch here, and you're not actually able to see that. Because you can see that this is up. That's weird. So anyway, as he's coming down, I take a couple shots at him. I hit him for, I think, 20, 27 around there. He has armor. And then I see where he ends up landing. This is where he take a couple shots. He ends up landing. I think he heals up just a little bit. And instead of building up, he kind of uses this shed as natural cover. Oh, look at this. What's he got here? Look at that. He has a gas can. Oh, that's right. That's right. He has a gas can. And look at this distance. Look how far this man is. Look at this. Look at this. He ends up throwing the gas can, I guess in hopes to getting into the base of my build, but he throws this gas can. It doesn't even reach halfway. Okay, I guess that's halfway, but he ends up taking some damage from that. Let me actually see. How much damage does he actually take? Taking some damage, 28. And then he gives a hard peek. A hard peek. He's wide in the open. 105. Clear indication. You need to push. That's 130 damage right there. 150 damage right there. I'm pushing. Dropping a ramp just to make sure he doesn't end up shooting me, because a lot of times when you end up pushing, they try to return fire. But it looks like during this time, he actually decided he's going to heal instead. Taking a half pot. I don't know if he has mats or not. I just know he's on low ground. I jump off because I hear him going to the shed. But he ends up putting a ramp. So he does have mats, which he should have been using it the entire time. But he ends up just slacking, going for the charge. And he doesn't release it. He doesn't release it. He holds on to that trigger way too long. Instead of anticipating. Boom. Right there. So that gets rid of him right off the bat. That's a good kill. I'm going to go all the way back here, break all of this up so that no one else can use it against me. I just break it up, just this a little bit. And then I go up, I end up going back in my build. Let me actually move into that. Here we go. I end up going back in my build. Let's do gameplay. And Storm's going to be coming in. But the reason why I go back into my build so hastily is because I'm trying to make sure I'm okay. I'm trying to make sure I've reloaded everything. And I want to make sure I do an inventory of what I have, my mats, and my current situation. And I want to see if anybody heard that and if they're around me. So I just need to be in a protective space. And then a little emote. That I'm sure that was pure accident. I don't think so. That's not the emote that I like to do if I'm flexing on somebody. So just to move a little bit forward, I end up moving in. I end up moving in over here because I gotta go. I gotta move in. Storm's coming in. I gotta go. I see this person over here on the left. I try to keep him at bay by taking some shots and hoping that that'll divert him. But like I said earlier, when you take shots like this, it's gonna open you up to inviting players nearby, and they're gonna end up taking shots at you. So he returns fire. I crouch and take a couple shots, try to see if I can dink him, but turns out there's a person right behind me. I end up walling up. Just trying to protect myself. I contest for high ground, but what makes it super difficult is as I contest for high ground right here, you can see it. That person up on top of the hill where I just was is now he's taking shots at me. So there's this person right over here. Now he's taking shots at me. There he is. There he is. He's taking shots at me, which is going to bring me down. Give this guy the opportunity to get the high ground. Honestly, I'm thinking, you know what? I don't even want to be a part of this. Let them deal with each other. I need a dip. Storm is coming in. I'm not in it. I really don't want to contest, so I end up just getting out of here. Trying to get out of here as quick as I can. He's taking shots. I'm throwing up walls. I'm trying to break up my pattern of walking by editing down where it's falling in so I don't get hit, because a lot of times if you just run in a straight line, they'll end up just tracking. But as you're running out of danger, there's a very real possibility you might run straight into danger again. And as you see right here, I end up running right into Travis Scott, just trying to protect myself, using the bush to break up my image a little bit, using that wall to be able to create a roof, creating new walls where I need to. Definitely a stressful situation, but during this time now I'm in a good position. I'm able to get a ramp up where I'm able to. I hear that he's cranking up, so I'm thinking I'm gonna need to contest this guy, and I can't continue to run because I know he's got high ground. If I end up continuing to run, I might run into somebody else. I gotta stand my ground. So we get some 90s over here, 90 up, and I managed to end up clipping him for about 80, which just causes him to lose his focus, and he drops. He ends up dropping down. See that again real quick. So I see he's going for high ground. I hear it. 90 up. Boom. Hitting him for 80. Now I know he'll get off my back. Keep this high ground just for a little bit. Try to reassess my situation, see if he's going to push up a little bit. That's why I ended up editing that, but I ended up editing my stairs as well, because when you have the stairs edited into the wall like that, it makes it very difficult to re-edit that wall. He ends up using Silver Surfer's board. I think I'm saying everybody's got this, but he ends up using it, try to get away, and he's going to get up on top of Agency, which is going to be putting me in a rough position. So the best thing that I can really do in this situation is just box up. I don't know what's going on. I don't know where those guys are, so I take a look just to see what's up. But as I'm looking, Travis Scott over here on top of Agency's giving me a hard time. So I keep replacing the box, replacing whatever he's doing, whatever he's destroying, and trying to see if I can use that wall ramp to my advantage and peek back at him while he has that steady fire rate. But he doesn't ever fully commit, which just leaves me in a situation of just being defensive and trying to see what I'm able to do. Now, there's a point in time here, he ends up getting contested across the river, and he gets a couple shots at him, and he ends up falling down, which opens me up for an opportunity to move. Even though I'm in circle, I'm in a rough spot here, because if circle ends up here or circle ends up here, I'm going to have to go across this water. And I'm running dangerously low on mats. That run from that one spot over here just put me in a really bad position. But luckily, I'm still alive, and I'm able to recompose myself and at least put myself in a box to protect myself. And now I just have to look for opportunity. Even though if it seems a little bit grim, there might be opportunity that presents itself, and it does exactly that. So we hear a little bit of gunfire, so I know that there's someone over in this situation. I end up looking back just to see if my rear is clear. He ends up taking a couple shots. I end up just re-healing with minis, trying to get the full 50. And I'm just trying to see if he commits to breaking out my roof again, but he's cautious. And he's not overextending, because if he does, that's going to give me an opportunity to snipe him, return fire back, and open him up to other opponents. But there's only 4 people left, and one thing to note is we got placements already. We've already gotten big points by this point. So generally in arena games, I shoot for placements. I try to get points. I'm not so worried about kills. I'm worried about staying alive. In pubs, that's going to be a little bit different of a story. I'm okay with going for high kill games in pubs, being a little bit more aggressive, being a little bit more reckless, less cautious. I'm not so worried. I have more mats. So here he goes. He ends up dropping down, which puts me in a great position. Guy across the river, he's taking shots. And now I'm just trying to survey what's going on. I don't know what's happening exactly. I do know that there's other people. I see that the box is over there. I'm seeing if this guy's already migrated or not. or if he's still below the agency. I see that this guy's across the river. I'm going to try to keep this window open to see if he slacks and hard peeks and see if I can get a snipe. I don't, but it's still something that I'm looking for. And there's the glitches going. I open up the window again, maybe. Then no, I'm just looking through the cracks here, seeing what's going on. But I do know I need to move. You can see where circle is. I'm not in it, and I'm gonna need to travel. This one guy ends up actually getting eliminated. I think that was Travis Scott there. He ends up getting eliminated. Let's see what he ends up doing. You can see him right here. He's going across, getting shot right out of the sky. So now with that said, it's time for me to move. I gotta go because I gotta end up across there using what I'm able to for cover. It looks like he has the mythic item, the Silver Surfer's board. And it looks like that guy went over there to grab it. Now, because this guy's over here, I hear him. I'm thinking, man, he might jump out on top. He might jump out front. You know what? Let me just box up completely. And while doing that, I'm just trying to track his movements, because if he does try to contest me, I'm going to want to open up on him and really catch him by surprise. And right at that moment, I try to open up the roof on him, which is enough to kind of spook him a little bit and get him moving. Plus, Storm's moving. So he ends up doing that, hitting a bouncer, opening him up just for plenty of shots. 90 damage there. 90 or then some. I want to push him. I need the mats. I need the kill. There's only 3 people left, including myself. I end up just walling up and ramping and using my floor to go down so that I can avoid getting shot from across the way. I miscalculate which box he's in. I take the wrong one. He ends up taking that one, but I have that wall. He's going to try to edit that. I'll reset the wall. Absorbs a shot, opens him up for a 90. Try to take the wall, but he keeps it. But because he kept it, that's an indicator he might open up on me, so I get my pump ready and shoot back at him. So this guy's shooting. I'm waiting for him to reload. He reloads. Time to move. I'm going to end up opening up, ramping up, but he ends up shooting me on the way in. And I'm trying to get up there. I'm trying to contest him for high ground. And I actually managed to, and we hear he just fell and gave up high ground, which puts me in a phenomenal position. I don't know what he has, but my pressure's up, my anxiety's up a little. I'm missing my shots, and it's so important when it comes to these kind of situations just to kind of calm down. I could have done a lot of damage there with the Scar. He ends up hitting me with the combat for 50, which just kind of has me a little on edge and a little bit more cautious, but he uses his Silver Surfer's board to get some distance in between us. And I didn't want to put myself in a position where I'm trying to exchange shots. I wanted to be aggressive, so I end up just breaking up his box and ramping on him in hard mats, trying to keep the high ground and keeping myself in a better position. So now he's below, which puts me in a lot better of a position, trying to get some easy shots on him. And this is where he messes up. Let me show you what ends up happening. You hear that revolver shot? He ends up trying to commit to taking down this wall right here, and because of that, he gets a good hit on him. He commits to that. He's taking storm damage. I keep him in storm. He tries to run in. He's not able to get in soon enough. This wall right here was enough to keep him out and was enough to secure the win. And that's how you do it, folks. And that's how I did it. Like I said, there's far more skillful players out there, super talented, and some crazy content creators. This is just a good analysis for myself to see what I'm doing well, to see what I'm doing poorly, what I can capitalize on, and how things manage to actually go, so I have a firmer understanding and can develop myself. But if you're able to take anything away from that, or if it helped you be a better player at all in any way, shape, or form, then I did my job. And really, that's all I wanted to do. This is a great opportunity to kind of assess your situation in Arena. If you're not doing too well, or if you're not performing too well, then this is great. Guys, I really appreciate it. I hope you appreciate the content. I hope you liked it. If you did, hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. I'll see you guys next time.